Welcome to the Helping Homes Find Their People podcast with the Galluzzo Team, Elena, Chris, and Christo. Today we are going to be going over the real estate Long Island market. We are right now in Q3 of 2023, and there has been a lot of movement and some stagnation in the market. I'm here with Elena and Chris today, and they are the juggernauts, of course, of Long Island real estate, and they have been involved in it for 35 years. They are going to give us some feedback on what they have been going through for the past couple of months in 2023. Hello, guys, and how are you doing today?
We are good.
Doing great. I love the word juggernaut. That's a very cool word.
Yes,
I think that's interesting. And
very
yes,
appropriate.
We have been in the business for 35 years. That just means we're old.
Yeah.
But we have seen the cycles. We've been through many cycles, and this is definitely a little tough cycle for many. Thankfully, our family, we're mostly listings, and we've been getting some listings, which is great, and able to sell the listings because, as Krista will attest to, in Q3, pricing is up, inventory is way down. Suffolk and Nassau, we're seeing definitely deficient numbers in inventory. So we need to get listings, and one way to get listings is to really just keep putting your name out there, like doing this podcast.
Some people are saying, people are asking you sometimes, where are the listings? Why aren't there listings? Or why is there low inventory? Is it because of the rates, or is it because of other aspects of life, like people not wanting to lose their previous rates at 2.5?
Well, that's been a big one. We've actually gone to listing presentations where they're like, we're not sure whether we want to list or not because we're at 3.5 right now. We don't want to take our mortgage and jump up to 7. So they do put it into their equation of whether they're going to move now or wait. And, waiting isn't going to help that problem at this point. So they usually do end up putting it on the market anyway, because it's always another reason why they want to go, whether they want to upsize, downsize, or just move out of state. They do make the decision, usually to list, even when the rates are one of their reasons why they might not. Have you found that?
Yeah, I think that having a rate of approximately 7.5 to 8 is a little bit of a fear factor, in other words. However, when you're ready to buy a house, you're usually ready to buy the house at that time in your life. So you don't want to rent. I mean, renting, if you're paying $3,000 a month, which is a 1-bedroom apartment on Long Island almost.
Yeah.
Right? So that's $3,000. And if you take that into 1 year, that's $36,000. That's $72,000. That's $108,000. In 3 years, you've blown $108,000. Why not turn it into equity? Turn it into buying a home. There is first-time home buyer loans. You can put down as little as $30,000 or less, depending on the price of the home. That 3.5% down loans. There's doctor's loans. There's other loans that you could put 0% down. So,
Yeah.
I mean, my wife and I, when we bought in 1988, we were paying over 14% for a loan. We didn't think about it. We needed a home. We already had 1 child. We were looking to have more children. It was our home, not our investment. Remember that. Your home is not your investment. You have other means to do your investments. Your home is where you raise your children or your family or your husband and wife, or, just living your life. So you have to remember that the rate is important, but buying the home and not giving it to a landlord is really important in this world that we're in right now, especially.
And that's the key difference between commercial and purchasing your primary residence or an investment property. You're going in for your home and creating a family, and it's a really big difference on why on the residential side that it's a little bit more. There's always going to be a little bit more inventory than the commercial, even if rates go high, because people are going to have no choice to move, or they want to move because they want a better different lifestyle for their family and grow more. But yeah, I've been seeing commercial real estate kind of fluctuate, and now it's really at a standstill.
Well, especially the office market. I think that the apartment market on the commercial side is strong. You're seeing activity, but people are nervous because during COVID, you have to remember, people didn't pay their rent. And you're looking at like 10, 12 months of not paying rent, 2 years of not paying rent. So a lot of landlords that own multifamily, which is usually two family units and up, are hurting. People didn't pay
They're
rent.
selling now too.
They're selling. Office complexes are vacant. There's no turnover right now. So where are these people going? The Manhattan market, offices, they're going to be foreclosures constant for the next, well, in the national market, international market, office buildings will be getting foreclosed on. Most owners are looking to convert their office space to residential space because they can't rent. These young workers now, they don't want to go back to work. They're asked to come in for 3 days a week, and they're having trouble with that.
Mm-hmm.
They want to work from home. They want to work from Starbucks. They want to work from some coffee shop in, Williamsburg.
They should just turn
Come on,
buildings into coffee shops.
Being in the coffee shop while on your computer, hanging out with your friends while working at the same time.
Yeah.
They love to multitask.
They should do that with the buildings. Make them big conference centers.
Well, that's what they did with Yelp. So if you know Yelp's thing, they would have 3,000 employees on one floor, have a big center hall for socialization. You used to be able to sell, get on the phone all day long, pump the phone, 50, 60, 70 calls a day. Then during breaks, you'd go hang out, play basketball, play whatever it is,
Ping pong,
etc.
All the food. I remember
All
they
the
had
food
the
for free. That model was
cafeteria
socialization was
open.
perfect. It made you want to work harder. It made you compete with other people. Now, you sit at home. You're not really caring what's going on with other people. You don't even know what these other people are doing. You're not interacting socially with other people in your peer group. So there's definitely a lack of
camaraderie.
upward mobility and camaraderie that I feel is lacking in this world.
And group
That we're in.
innovation. When everyone's there for innovating, and sometimes you're lacking on Zoom calls, you can't really talk or have a personal relationship as much.
Collaboration.
Yeah.
Collaboration and motivation.
Right.
People inspire you to do better when you're working with somebody who's, oh, you just hit that high number. Let me see if I can beat it. Let me see if I can do that same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you get motivated by other people's successes too, and then, like you said, the ideas.
Right. Yeah. I was actually talking to somebody that used to take the train with. She took the train with me for 10 years. And she was mentioning, remember on Monday mornings, we used to have bagel mornings, and we'd all sit there. There would be like 20 of us, and we'd talk about business, family, pleasure, all these great things, our dreams, our vacations. And from Monday to Thursday, we talked, and we had such great times on the train going into Manhattan. Then we did our jobs, we get home, talk again. She goes, but on Fridays, if you remember, every Friday we had a happy hour on the train. And all of us, 20 of us, 24 of us, would have wine, beer, whatever it was, and we'd just laugh and talk and then get home and we'd have a really great weekend. There's no weekends anymore. It's just virtual, and there's no trains, there's no camaraderie.
I could say that you have gotten so many clients from the train.
Yeah.
Even if you haven't seen them in 10 years, they do call you and are like, all right, I'm ready to list my house.
I have one
and
coming.
you're like, this is a train guy. This is a train guy. This is
I
a
have
train
a
person.
Dix Hills listing coming right now from my
the
Long
train.
Island Railroad train
36
friend.
years on the train.
One of my favorite people. He's going to be selling his house pretty soon, and we'll get that listing.
Yeah,
What
we got
type
a lot of train.
What kind of train was this? Was this the train
the
with
Long
the
Island
bar,
Railroad
or
train.
is this like the regular
Just
old?
regular.
No,
We never sat in the bar
Everyone
car.
would just bring their coffee
The
and
bar
drinks.
car, when I first started, was a smoking car
Yeah.
and a drinking car. I would never go in that car, ever. It was disgusting. But that car was filled
Yeah, I'm
with
sure.
men and women. Really filled with smokers. It was so bad. And then little by little, they got rid of the smoking. But the bar car, they had one car but we bring our own drinks. But they always had one car or two cars on the train that had a bar car. They had a guy comes in, rolls in, and sells while the train is going. And everybody would come back and forth. And I mean, not to say that we're all drinking. I didn't drink much at all, but the truth is, it's a socialization. It was fun, and
Yeah.
we enjoyed our time. We talked about business, and we did business. I rented a lot of apartments in Manhattan from those socialization times. I rented to their children. I'm still, in fact, renting deals through the Long Island Railroad to my friends and their children.
So that's the benefit of going to work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
going to work is a huge benefit.
Yes, going to
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. That I always I saw a couple of videos of the old train that they used to have in Long Island, and it looked awesome. Old school, had the bar car, it had literally like
Graffiti.
that too.
Well,
No, I think that was
before.
before.
Nah,
Was it kind
That was in the 80s.
But you have to
That
remember,
was-
it was a diesel train, Chris. So this train smelled
Yeah.
of the diesel fumes that would come from the engine, and it would come back. So you had smoke, drinking, people, and diesel fumes.
Yeah.
It was disgusting,
Yay.
in my opinion. But I didn't know any better. I loved it.
And now it's improved.
It's
So
improved a lot.
The new trains actually have an outlet now at every seat.
Yeah.
So now you're going to be more into your computer instead of socializing with others.
Yeah.
Do you think they should take away more electronics and bring in
no,
more of
listen.
like
When
socialization?
if you look back at the 1920s and the 1930s of people on the train, they were like this, reading their newspapers.
Yeah, they weren't talking
So
to each other
everybody was
regardless.
into their own space even back then, but they were doing it with their big newspapers.
Yeah,
Well, people chose to be in their own. There were definitely a lot of men and women on this train that didn't talk to anyone.
yeah.
Totally. But there's always the chance to talk to somebody if you wanted. Nowadays, the last train I took was probably about a month ago, and everybody had these iPods in or headphones, big headphones, like they're listening to DJ like music, like they're
Podcast.
It
producers.
was the
They're
beats.
Listening to
stealing the
podcasts.
podcast.
Yeah, they're on the beats.
I can't even get over it. They don't say hello to anybody. They don't look up. There's no interactions. And my friend was actually saying that she went in to see her daughter recently. She said, Chris, it's sad. No one talked. No one said hello. And here's an interesting thing. I was actually looking at an Instagram by a rabbi. A rabbi did a speech. It was a great speech. And he talked about this police detective who used to be on the homicide, like the suicide. He was the suicide division. So he would be the first one to go and identify why someone committed suicide. Try to pinpoint the things that made this man or woman commit suicide. And honestly, it's mostly men. But why did that person commit suicide? So this rabbi said he was reading this expose by this man who wrote a book or whatever, and it was very enlightening. He said this man wrote a note of why he was going to kill himself. But he said in the note, if I go now and I'm going to jump off a bridge, and if I walk and anyone says hello to me or hi or says, how are you doing? I will not kill myself today. Right? That man killed himself. Because as a society, we're really programmed to not look at somebody and save their life potentially. I mean, just that one word could have saved that man's life. Just somebody to say, hello, hi, how are you doing? And instead, he got nothing. He ended up jumping off the bridge. So if you see pain in somebody's face and you see them being sad or sorrowful, or you know what's going on, you have to do something about it. You know, you have to be able to help men. In fact, today I was at a Rotary meeting, and this man talked about men over 55 are the biggest demographic that commit suicide. Why is that? They're alone, most of them. They take it, internalize everything. It's always the man's fault, in their opinion. And that's generalization, but that's a very important number. They don't know where else to turn. They don't have friends that can support them. Fortunately, there are groups out there that can help. There are groups that take care of men, and there are groups that take care of women.
Your group.
And I have a fantastic mechanism where we run a men's, I call it an accountability group, and holding standards and codes of honor, and get men involved. And I truly believe I've saved at least 20 to 25 men's lives, families' lives, and business. I've saved their businesses. I really feel confident that I've done that, and I'm very proud of that fact. So, you see somebody, help them. You see, open, don't be always on your iPhone. Pay attention to what's going around you.
Good
Or,
advice,
yeah,
mister.
that's great advice for anyone who is struggling. Always reach out to your loved ones and reach out to professionals. And of course, we'll have to.
Well, if you need help, go on the GalluzzoTeam.com. You can call me, Chris Galluzzo.
You can call my father as well.
Yeah.
Do you want me
I would
to
love to
add in
be-
your cell phone number?
Sure.
It's 917-939-2271. Give this man a call. He'll help you out.
Listen. It would be my honor. I actually have a meeting tonight, and one of the men that's coming
Every
to the
Tuesday.
meeting. Every Tuesday night I have a meeting, and tonight I have a man, and I'm not going to use his name. I never would do that. It's a confidential circle. But this man had lost his wife. He's in a depression. Doesn't know who to turn to, and he's coming to my meeting, and it means a lot to me. Last week I had 12 new men
And the
come to my
age
meeting.
group is diverse.
We go from 22 years old to 92 years old. I just had a man that came to my last meeting. He was part of my group since 1994. And so men that have been in my group and interacting for 30 years, 40 years. And, it just means a lot to me. It means a lot to save a man's life.
And it's nice
And a
the way
family's-
the different age group men interact with each other, and they invite each other to things, and they include each other on their, expeditions and the things that are happening in their jobs. If there's an event, like the event we went to this weekend, they invited that young boy
Well,
and
it was
his
a
wife.
33-year-old and his wife. And then my wife and I are in our, later years.
We're older, slightly older.
And we're all together and invited together. And it's nice because there's mentors. We're mentors to the younger men. And you know what? Sometimes some of the men that are younger have a lot of good things to teach some of the men that are older too. Like really how to get yourself motivated, how to get yourself out of bed, how to get yourself positively getting your day started.
I think Christopher's one of those.
Well, I always go by Mel Robbins' 5-second rule. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get up, do it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same thing almost.
I
It's
believe it's
backwards.
the same.
It is the
5,
same,
4,
but-
3, 2, 1. Get up, and I just do that all the time.
Yeah.
You just
I
gotta
agree.
get
And
going.
I think that you're a great asset to the men's club too, because you are a motivator.
Well, I'm not on their team, but I was a part of another organization in Manhattan for 3.5 years as well. But definitely, if you see any, like he was saying, if you see anything going on with somebody, always reach out to them and see how they're doing. And you never know. Always be relationship oriented. And that's why getting back to the office and all those things, it's good to have personal relationships, especially with coworkers, your family members, and even associates, because then you can, build off of their ideas and how they're feeling, or learn something new. And
Well, in light of that, Compass, our company, is opening up a new office in Smithtown. So we're not going to be in an office building all alone, not interacting with the public. We're going to be in Smithtown on Main Street, west side of Main Street. So we're going to have our own retail office, which will be nice because we'll be able to interact with people walking by. People can drive in the back and come into our office. So it'll be a much more social atmosphere. So that's going to be good. And even Huntington, our office on Wall Street, we just pushed into the office next door. So instead of having, I think we had about 1,300 square feet, now we'll have 2,600 square feet in Huntington. And so,
that has a lot of street fairs.
lot of
and
street
a lot of
traffic.
things go on in that street.
And just for context,
Street.
the Smithtown office was in a big building with like a lot of dentists and doctors and a couple of things. We were on the third floor, away from everybody, and it was 3,000 square foot office.
very big office.
Big office.
Me.
It
But we
was
had no use for it.
huge. I told them to build a TV studio or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. It's so big, but it was only temporary. And now we're going to the one on Main Street in Smithtown, which is awesome. That's gonna be fantastic.
yeah, so visit the Galluzzo Team when you get a chance. We would love to meet us, call us.
Mm-hmm.
We're always
We
available.
can help you.
We answer our own phones.
Yes, we do.
We don't have an assistant that necessarily answers our phones. We do it all ourselves. but we do have the ability to have answering services if we need it.
Going back into rates and the commercial industry, or even how the socialization has changed in the workspace, I think that's a reason why, since rates are high, there is low inventory. It's still bringing prices up a little bit more because people aren't in the office as much. They're still looking for that home to get out somewhere else and have possibly more land in Nassau or Suffolk. Other than that, because we have a lot of people moving from Queens and other places, and a lot of people moving out of New York State for more property, bigger bang for your buck, and less taxes in, let's say, Georgia or South Carolina. For an example, in Suffolk County, the prices for the listing inventories are down negative 24% from last year in September, and inventory is up 6.4%.
Yes, there's
I mean,
a little bit more time
the inventory is less than negative 24%. Sorry but the price
is up.
is up 6.4%. Sorry
But
about that.
there's still buyers, but there's not a ton of buyers. But we are still seeing some bidding wars a little bit. But the houses do stay on the market a little bit longer now.
They do,
They definitely do.
especially if
People
it's
aren't
a million or
jumping
more.
on the homes as
Yeah.
fast.
I don't see any more appraisal contingencies as much.
No,
Because people really don't have
doing
reason to it.
inspections.
People are doing inspections again, making sure that the termites are out of the house.
Yep.
I also haven't seen in a while, or I haven't had to go as far as an escalation clause as recent
Nope.
either. Yeah, and not as many bidders out right now that I've noticed as well. There's 1 to 2 to maybe 5
For each
offers
house.
for each house in the average. But
I feel like the luxury market has woken up. We've been selling in the higher end, over the 1.3 million have been. That's woken up. Even over 2 million, we've been selling houses in that range too, and it's been active.
yeah,
We've had that listing for 2.75 and got 3 or 4 offers on it, which is pretty good.
there was a lot. I mean, that was gorgeous. Totally what somebody would want in a home.
Yep. Then we jumped one person over to another home,
Yeah.
and we're under contract today, actually.
That was the
That was from Pewter to the other house.
yeah, what was that address for
Willard.
that? Willard Way, yes. That was a very nice house as well.
Yes. Not even finished.
It's still being built.
a vanilla box.
Yep.
It's a vanilla box. So that was
Yeah,
good.
the luxury market definitely is
It's
very good right now.
It's pretty good.
Mhm.
It could be because our neighborhood is turning into a luxury market now that the prices have gone up.
Very true. And there's the new construction that they're doing are 3,000 square foot or more sized homes. They're not doing how they were in
Yes.
in
They're
the 70s
building
and 60s.
mansions.
They're building it for the high up, and they're not going to build it for the regular person right now.
Right.
Unless it's a condo
Not
complex,
not
which they're doing in
Dick
Green
Phil's
Lawn.
anyway,
Yeah.
because we do have the advantage of the acre properties.
Yes.
But I think if somebody came from the 1920s, 30s, 40s, it's unbelievable the difference in housing. You know, a big house back then, a big house might have been 4,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Pushing it to 5,000 square feet. That's an average house now for the new builds. You know,
Yes.
they want 3,000 or more. You're right, Chris. It's just big differences. You know, they don't. I mean, when
All the ceilings have to be high.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting taller anyway. We're selling houses to such tall people.
that's true.
Our last client was 6'8".
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
6'8".
So
right?
all the ceilings have to be high. People do prefer basements with the high ceilings. If there's a new build, they're practically 11 feet now.
Well, that's funny. Bring up who did we just rent to? Come on, you got to bring it up. He was 6'8".
Well, Jeff Nelson from the Yankees,
Jeff
2000,
Nelson from the Yankees.
2000 Yankees pitcher, and there's certain doors, certain apartments he couldn't even walk into.
That's right.
The ones that we were showing him in Manhattan. Thank goodness the properties that we we looked into it before. After that first
Right.
round, we're like, we have to make sure that the ceiling height actually
Can
can
fit.
fit him, and he doesn't have to hit his head every time he walks into his
Yeah.
apartment. But yeah, great guy.
4-time World Series champion. He's real. We had some fun. We showed him some apartments all over Manhattan, then we went drinking with him.
Yeah, it was a great time, and we literally, he didn't really understand where he wanted to be in Manhattan, but he knew Manhattan, and he already stayed in Midtown for 3 years before that, and then we showed him on the West Side, all the way to the East Side by Stuytown, then we went on Upper East Side, then we finally found his place in Midtown on the West Side of Midtown,
Yeah, ironically enough,
right back to where he was.
I used to manage the building. I used to be involved with it. It was Stonehenge, which is a developer in Manhattan who I used to work for. I was one of their directors of all their properties on the East Side. This happens to be a West Side property, but I knew the leasing director, so we had a little bit of an in. We got a little bit of an in, and it was, the rental market is slow in Manhattan, so they're very happy that we brought them a tenant, and especially a quality tenant like Jeff. And Jeff has 4 daughters. So originally he was looking at 1-bedroom apartments and his 4 daughters fly in from all over across the country because not one of them lives in Florida. They all live in different places because he's from Florida now. But ironically enough, he needed a 2-bedroom. I mean, thinking it through, yeah, my daughters are going to come visit and I need another bedroom.
Yes.
So he took a 2-bedroom with a terrace, right? It has a
Yeah,
terrace.
beautiful balcony.
A balcony, right?
Yeah.
So that's great.
That was very nice.
So Christo and I and my wife Elena, we'll do Manhattan. So if anybody wants a little support in Manhattan, that is our background. My background is Manhattan real estate. Christo's Manhattan and Brooklyn. My wife has always been Long Island,
I'm a Long Island girl.
but she did help me once in Manhattan on a rental project, and she will never do that again.
Nope, that was a one-time deal.
Back in 1988, my wife was a rental agent in Hell's Kitchen. And Hell's Kitchen was not a great neighborhood to be in back in 1988.
Hold on, we need to stop this.
I'm not going
because
to go into the
I-
details,
No,
but she will never be a rental agent in Hell's Kitchen anymore
No.
in the 80s at least.
in the 80s.
Okay, I don't
Yeah,
want to have to.
Different world now.
We might have to edit out fair housing.
Sadie.
Yeah.
1988 was a different world from now in the Hell's Kitchen. So let's just keep it at that. What I wanted to go over is the 5 Ds, but it's really 6. So, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So the other day, I'm listening to the head of Compass. All right. Robert Refkin is a very, very smart person. Knows the markets, knows about stocks, knows about real estate. Very astute. And he brought up 5 Ds. All right. 5 Ds are reasons why people move. All right. Diplomas. Diapers. All right. So diplomas, somebody graduates, they're moving on to their next career. They're looking for an apartment or maybe a house to buy. Diapers. They had another baby. So they had their first baby, their second baby, their third, fourth. There's all different reasons why somebody's going to upgrade or downgrade. Death, obviously. That's a big one, right? So somebody dies, their estate is handling their sale. They're going to move. Somebody's buying their house. Divorce, another big obstacle that causes people to move. Diamonds, somebody's getting married. So those are the 5 Ds. But I added another D.
Oh,
So
boy.
it's really 6 Ds. Destinations. They're looking to change their destination. All right. So my brother, moved to Arizona recently. He wanted to change his destination. He didn't like the weather in New York. He thought he would have a better life in Arizona, and he does. He loves his life in Arizona. So many people are looking for this destination change. So besides diapers, diplomas, death, divorce, and diamonds, destinations. I think that's
But there's
really
even
important.
destinations within Long Island itself, because we live in Dix Hills, and this is where our children grew up. But we had a lot of empty nesters. Now their kids are grown, and they sell their houses in Dix Hills, and they go to the water. They've always wanted a house on the water with the boat, and 55 and older, they're going over there. They're going to Lindenhurst. They're going to Babylon, Islip, North Shore. But we've had a lot of people do from the center of the island to the water. So that's a destination too.
Correct.
It's in our own area.
So there goes my 6 Ds, not 5.
Nice. Okay.
Adding a D.
All
I
right,
mean,
Robert, I added a D on there. I'm just letting you know.
I love the destination of Long Island. You can go everywhere. You can go fishing. You can do land activities. The only thing you can't really do is snowboard during winter season, but you can go sledding.
There used to be a ski slope on Long Island.
Yes.
In Farmingville, on Bald Hill.
Bald Hill.
There was a ski slope. I wish they would bring it back, but they won't.
Was the hill big enough? Or
It
was
was
it like a
just
little
It was,
big
like,
bunny?
it was like a rocking horse
It
ranch.
was just big
Oh,
enough.
but that's fun.
It was a beginner's hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we literally went there all the time. It had
Mm.
lights. It was so much
Yeah.
fun.
Oh, you
I
gotta
don't
bring
know. Economically, it didn't make sense because we don't have enough snow
we don't have
here.
snow
Yeah.
anymore. We'd have to
And it
make our own
didn't get
snow.
that cold. But on an economic side, it was terrible probably for the developer. But on our part as children, we loved it. Right in the neighborhood, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know there was a little slope
Right.
in Farmingville.
It was pretty cool.
They gotta bring
I
that
think it was
back.
called
Hopefully it
Bald
snows.
Hill
Yeah.
Bald Hill.
at the time.
So if you ever have been to Bald Hill, let us know in the comments. That would be amazing.
Yeah, and if you want to open up an indoor skiing facility, let us know. We'll try to find you some land to acquire.
Yes. Well,
That would make sense.
Yeah.
On Long Island.
people would love that on Long Island
Imagine that.
because then no one has to go to New Jersey to go do that.
New Jersey, Vermont, all these places that have big slopes too. You could do it right in your hometown. That would be pretty amazing.
They are opening in Shirley the Crest Surf Club
Yeah. But that's, listen.
That's more
surfing is
membership.
you can go anywhere to surf per se. Don't get me wrong. It's
On Long
it's
Island,
gonna be
yes,
an
that's
place.
amazing place. Long Island's
It's-
Long Island, New Jersey is top notch surfing for hurricanes during hurricane season. And if you're looking to just be a longboarder and hang out, 2 to 3 feet waves, we get a lot of that. And Long Island surfing's really not that bad. People give us some backlash, because obviously Hawaii, Portugal, and all these other places have way better surf. But I digress.
Well, Montauk has the one surfer now. He's on the tour, right?
Yeah,
They-
he's on the
he's
the
on
surf
the world
tour. Yeah,
tour.
the world tour.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
My son's a good surfer. Christo's a very good surfer. He only learned a few years ago, but he's
Like
really
intermediate.
doing very well.
Yeah, you gotta learn and take your punches when it comes to surfing. But as long as you keep on moving along and learn the ways and stay active and stay fit, you can keep the paddle up and catch the waves that you want to catch,
Right.
and understand how the water works and tides and things like that.
Oh, another thing we should talk about. We have a big gala this weekend called the Daniela Conti Foundation. It's a gala. We're part of their group. We live near them. They're a wonderful family that had 4 children, 2 boys, 2 girls, and they lost their daughter at approximately 8 years old. And it's heartbreaking, heart-wrenching, but Katya has dedicated her life to helping other families that are going through this crisis by either giving them money to help them with food and paying rent, or just anything.
Staying at hotels, at the
Right.
hospitals.
Yeah, Cold
And
Spring
then
Harbor.
They've partnered up with the Cold Spring Harbor Laboratories with a doctor there whose name escapes me, scientists, and they are doing research for children's cancer specifically. There are a million cancer research programs all over, but none of them are geared toward just children. They're all adult cancer research programs.
That's where the big money is.
So this is where she differs in that it is specifically geared toward finding the very delicate, research for the children's cancers specifically.
Yeah, so we'll be at this gala this weekend. If anybody's interested in donating or being part of it in the future, because there's other
And
events that they do.
99% of the money goes toward the foundation. There's no administration fees. It's almost a 100% donation that is used for the research and helping the families.
Yeah,
So
we've
that's
seen the money go directly to some of the families. I know some of the families that have these issues going on, and they have donated money right to them, handed them a check that I actually donated, and they gave it right to another family through the charitable sector.
Yeah, it's because we do a lot of fundraising for that group, and it's nice.
Right. I mean, I have a group called Networking for Charity. It's a 30-member team of business women and men, and we donate money to various charities. So we gave to the Sunrise Association, which is very similar. They have a day camp during the summer, a camp for summer with children with cancer or other illnesses like that, and they bring the other siblings too. So not only are you donating to one child that may have cancer, you're donating to the siblings because they're going through it too. It's not just about that one child. If they have 3 other children, those 3 other children are affected and they need to be taken care of too. So we, Networking for Charities, very strong like that. We give money every year. We have great members. If anybody's interested in joining Networking for Charity, reach out to me on the side too.
And you
I
can,
think we gave your phone number out.
yes, and you could just look up Danielle Conti Foundation on Google or on your webpage, and it should come up
It's a
pretty fast.
Huntington-based charity, although she wants to expand it to the national base. But right now, it's more of Long Island-centric and Huntington-specific.
All right, that is it for Helping Homes Find Their People podcast. We are the Galluzzo Team, and we specialize in Long Island real estate. And on this podcast, we talk about all things real estate, and especially Long Island, New York. You can give us a follow, subscribe to our channel, and we hope to see you soon.